So here's the oil feed coming out of the oil galley there. And there's two lines that come from it. One is going right now up to the compressor, or sorry, not to the compressor, it's going to the alternator. And I'm assuming that the fire truck used to have a air-cooled alternator, and that this line right here is actually what used to run to the air compressor. That's my guess. And then we're going to just add a T right off of this oil pressure block. This is what gives all the oil pressure readings for the bus. I'm just going to put a T fitting in here and then run a new oil line from here over to where the compressor goes back there. So I just asked the Magic 8 Ball if the bus was going to make it home this time, and it said it is certain. How do you like that? Mr. April has not lied to us yet, so very excited. So you have to have a special puller to get this off because there's no room around the outside. Jaws won't fit. But if you just take a bolt and skinny it up like that, you can drop that bolt down in there and then use that with a traditional regular puller right on there, and it'll get that right off. So just a couple of bolts, hack off half the head, good to go. Look at those chunks of steel inside. That's the oil drain hole back into the crankcase. Air compressor had a fitting where that is right there. There was an Allen key and it was countersunk in a lot more. I didn't think it mattered. The Allen stripped out on it. We tried to take it out, so we went and got a pipe plug for it. But because of the height of that, it's rubbing on there, and that's not letting the compressor get the right angle to hook up to the engine. So we're gonna try and get the right fitting for that, or I'll have to grind that down, one or the other. All right, so I'm replacing that with that, so that'll get countersunk in there and not interfere. This is a tight fitting air compressor, and to get that gear hooked up, it's very difficult. Nice. We got oil pressure. Okay. It's even there. So the key is that it's going to gotta go over 60. That's what our problem was. Well, yeah. We'll get it. It's going to work. We got the lucky key in. Yep. Just like there's no... Yeah, we're over 60 now. Almost 70. About 40 miles with no issues in the McDonald's bus. Got to get the gauges fixed. They're not accurate readings, but it's running good. It's nice and strong. I've been trying to keep it around 65. When I get up to 70, I don't really like the way the steering feels on it. It's a little too loose for my taking. But I also don't want to overheat it. It's been warm. I just took out a tree. Evidence. I had to turn around on this little sand. It's gravel here, but it was sand. It's like a loose sand, and it really felt like it was bogging down, so I didn't want to stop. Yeah, I can see my ruts over there. Yeah, this is real. Nobody wants to, you don't want to drive your bus on that. Well, I just did, but I knew to stay on the throttle, so I caught that tree just a little bit. It ran great though. It sounded great, felt good. I got to turn the governor down, I think just a hair on the air compressor. I hear a pop-off valve flicker a couple of times right before the air dryer purges, which is when the air compressor, I've got it set, it's like 128 that it's going up to, and it sounds like maybe that purge valve is going like 125, so it'll go show a couple little farts. I'll hear it, and then I hear the from the air. So other than that, so far so good. We're about 40 miles right now. I got 40 miles to go back to where my bus is. We had to come, he followed me in his car. We're dropping off his rental car that he's had for the week, and then head back to where my bus is at the truck stop, and he should be good to go, especially if he runs at night here where it's nice and cool. I don't know what it's going to do during the day, but he definitely doesn't need to be driving it in 100-degree days, so I think we got lucky here. We got a few nice days coming. I'll let you know how the second half of the test run goes. So here we are, cruising on the interstate. What are we doing, 65? Closer to 70? Yeah. It's running real good. Can't even hear the engine up here. He just followed me in his car, and he said he could definitely hear it behind me. But, yeah, no, she's doing real good. Should be on my way tonight. Heading to Virginia, and I'll be working on a motor yacht with twin 671 diesels on it. Should be fun. I almost forgot I wanted to share another story. So it broke down on Friday with the air compressor. Saturday morning we had it apart. There's no place to buy parts on a weekend anywhere around here. We found some places that would have the parts, but we couldn't get them until Monday, order them. So we tried to call the guy that let us down, you know, he kept leading us on about the parts for the air filter. We called him all weekend long, like 5 times, never got a hold of him. Finally got a hold of him Monday morning, and he tells us, yeah, I got it. Let me just get, when I go home for lunch, about 1 o'clock, I'll make sure I got my hands on it. And then we never heard back from him again. So by like 1:30, 2 o'clock, we ordered it Monday from, we had to go through Pee-wee's again, the CarQuest, that really cool CarQuest with all the, he gives Pee-wee's a big thumbs up. They were very helpful on a lot of things. They helped us get made our oil lines that we needed and everything.
Fantastic.
But you can't, we ordered it from Halidex. It's a rebuilt Bendix compressor, but they rebuild, you know. But
Halidex for me that day.
Oh wow. So Halidex, yeah, they don't sell to the direct public. You have to be a vendor. So that's Pee-wee's was. So Pee-wee's was able to order it from them. They remanded it the same day and then shipped it out to us. And it was 1-day shipping, just ground. So we had it today by about 1:30 maybe.
Yeah.
And by 5 o'clock we had it all back together. I think it was around 5:30.
Yeah.
Had one little oil leak on it at first. I didn't tighten down the bolts tight enough for the new gasket on there. We got the air system hooked up, everything's purging right, all the new fittings are on it, and did real well. So we're about 15 miles right now from being about 80 miles. It's about 40 miles to where we were at there. So yeah, another 15 miles.
32, I think.
So we did good. Got about 8 more miles to go. Just heard the air brake, or the air dryer purge. get back to my bus and get on the road. We're gonna head to a Flying J, get some fuel, and do a dump. Our shitter is full. Luckily, I have a 35-gallon gray tank that if the black tank overflows, it goes into the gray. But I don't want to do that again. So I want to get it all out of there. Plus, it'll be nice to be about, 500 pounds lighter.